rather nicely. We're on the east side part, and sometimes gets a little off track. But I think, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, I think the way these witnesses are going to fall today, probably maybe 3 more, and actually that may get us out a little bit before 5 o'clock. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow. While you all were willing to work on Sunday, and I appreciate that, that's really not going to work out. We're not going to do that, I don't think. I appreciate your willingness. But the attorneys have been at it pretty hard for, I'm sure, a weekend prior to this and days prior to our starting on Monday. And so sometimes when you get this far along, they like to reorganize a little bit and assess. So I think that Sunday off will help them to see where they are, how much more we have to go, maybe streamline a couple of things, that type of thing. So that way you can line up your family members to come to visit, okay? All right, so we're ready to resume. Mr. Guy?
Thank you, sir. Tommy Storms.
Tommy Storms, please. Good afternoon, Mr. Storms. If you'll come all the way up to the front for me, please, sir. And if you'll raise your right hand, the clerk's going to administer the oath, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, Mr. Storms, if you come right around this way, the bailiff will show you where your seat is. And just get comfortable and get up close to that microphone. Be sure and speak loudly so we into the microphone so we can hear you, all right?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Guy, go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. If you'd please tell the members of the jury your name.
My name is Tommy Storns.
Mr. Storms, do you live here in Jacksonville?
Yes, I do.
And approximately how long have you lived in Jacksonville?
Since 2009.
How old are you?
I am 20.
And on November 23rd, 2012, how old were you?
I was 19.
You know a person named Tevin Thompson?
Yes, sir.
And about how long have you known that person?
At this time now, about 17 months.
All right. And are you and Tevin Thompson close friends?
At the time we were, at this moment today, we're a little more separate.
Okay. You were closer back in November of 2012?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you also know a person named Leland Brunson?
Yes, sir.
How did you meet that person?
Through Tevin.
And were you ever close to Leland Brunson?
No.
All right. Did you also meet a person named Jordan Davis?
Yes, sir.
How did you meet Jordan Davis?
Through Tevin Thompson.
And were you ever close to Jordan Davis?
No.
All right. Turning your attention then to the month of November 2012, who did you live with at that time?
My aunt, Lily Billingsley.
And what part of town did you and your aunt live in November of 2012?
We lived downtown Jacksonville.
Specifically, let me turn your attention to Friday, November 23rd, 2012. Do you remember that day?
Yes, sir.
Did you see Jordan Davis that day?
Yes, sir.
How was it that you came into contact with Jordan Davis?
He called Tevin to see if we wanted to go to the mall.
And did you and Tevin Thompson agree to do that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did you pick up Jordan Davis?
Yes, sir.
From where did you pick up Jordan Davis?
From Jordan's house.
And was Jordan Davis with anyone when you picked him up?
Yes, Leland Brunson.
And do you recall the exact time that you would have picked them up?
No, I do not.
Was it still daylight?
Yes, sir.
All right. And where was it that Jordan Davis lived? What part of town?
It was the south side.
All right. How were the four of you traveling that afternoon?
In my red Dodge Durango.
And who was driving?
I was.
How many doors does your Dodge Durango have?
4.
Let me ask you to look at your monitor. Do you see State's Exhibit 43?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that your Dodge Durango?
Yes, sir.
In November of 2012, did either of the rear seat windows on the Durango work on their own?
No, sir.
Could they be controlled?
Yes, sir.
How?
From the driver door.
All right, let me show you States 48. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That is my driver door.
And does that contain the control buttons that you would use to lower either of the rear windows?
Yes, sir.
Where did the four of you go, that is you, Tevin Thompson, Jordan Davis, and Leland Brunson, after you picked them up?
We went to the town center mall
And what was the purpose of the four of you going to the town center?
to hang out.
All right. Did the four of you stay together while you were at the town center?
Yes, sir.
Did Jordan Davis see anyone that he knew while you were at the town center?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Jordan seen his girlfriend.
Did you know her?
No, sir.
And did the four of you leave? Let me ask you this. Do you recall where Jordan Davis ran into his girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
It was Urban Outfitters.
That's a store there at the town center?
Yes, sir.
Did all four of you leave the town center together? That is yourself, Tevin Thompson, Leland Brunson, and Jordan Davis.
Yes, sir.
And did you leave again in your Dodge Durango?
Yes, sir.
When the four of you left the town center, were there discussions about where you were going next?
Yes, sir.
And where was that?
The Avenues Mall.
Who was driving the Dodge Durango when you left the town center?
I was.
And where was Tevin Thompson seated?
He was seated in the front passenger seat.
Where was Jordan Davis seated?
In the rear right passenger.
And where was Leland Brunson seated?
In the rear left behind me.
Did you all stop before getting to the Avenues Mall?
Yes, sir.
Where did you stop?
At the Gate gas station on South Side in Bay Meadows.
Okay, and why did you stop there?
For gum and cigarettes.
Were you familiar with that gate station?
Yes, sir.
Had you been to that gate station before that date?
Yes, sir.
All right. And relative to the store itself, where did you park?
The second parking space to the left of the entrance.
All right. Were you facing the entrance?
Yes, sir.
All right. And by that, I mean, were you facing the store?
Yes.
Okay. And you pulled into a parking space?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you parked at the gate gas station, was there anybody to the immediate space on your right side or the passenger side?
No, sir.
Did you get out of the car after you parked?
Yes, sir.
Did anyone go with you?
No.
Where did you go?
I went to the store.
Was music playing in the Durango when you got out to go into the store?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell the members of the jury what type of stereo system you had in your car.
I have two 12-inch subwoofers in the back of my car with an amplifier.
All right, and where specifically are those in the car?
All the way in the rear, in the
All
trunk part of the vehicle.
And in which direction do they face?
Towards the hatch door.
Okay, towards the back of the car?
Yes, sir.
All right. Were any of the windows in the Dodge Durango down when you pulled into the gate station?
Yes, sir.
And whose window was that?
It was Jordan's.
And do you recall who lowered Jordan Davis's window?
I did.
All right. And when did you do that?
On the way to the gas station.
When the four of you were riding around that afternoon, early evening, and even at the gate gas station, what was Jordan Davis's demeanor like that day?
He was calm. I mean, like any other time that I've seen him, you know.
How about Leland Brunson
The same.
and Tevin Thompson?
The same.
And what was your demeanor like that day?
The same. We were just all, hanging out.
While you were inside the store, did you hear anything from outside the store that caught your attention?
No.
What did you do while you were in the gate gas station?
I went to use the bathroom and I bought the cigarettes and gum.
Do you recall exactly how long you were in the store?
No, but it was a short period of time.
All right. Was it just long enough to use the restroom and buy those items?
Yes, sir.
After you bought the gum and cigarettes, did you go back out to the Durango?
Yes, sir.
When you walked back to the Durango, did you notice any cars parked near your truck that weren't there when you went into the store?
I was not paying attention, sir.
Were there any cars on the passenger side of your car when you got back into the Durango?
Yes, sir.
And you recall what model or type of car that was?
Yes, it was a sedan.
All right. You recall what color it was?
Black vehicle.
Do you recall how close the black sedan was parked next to your Dodge Durango?
I know it was fairly close. It was close enough to where if my door was open, it would hit his car.
And what did you do when you got back to the Durango?
I opened the door. I danced a little bit to the song that was playing. I opened the gum and got in the car.
And when you got in the Durango, did anything catch your attention?
Yes, Tevin told me, hey, let's go.
And when Tevin Thompson said that, what did you do?
I looked towards him, and that's when, I started to motion to get ready to leave. And when I looked towards him, that's when everything started to fold out.
Okay. And Tevin Thompson is seated next to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, on your right side. Okay, and you look at him. Tell the jury what you saw.
I seen Michael Dunn's mouth move, and I seen his gun come up.
All right. And you said the name Michael Dunn. Did you know anyone at that time named Michael Dunn?
No, sir.
Have you since learned his name?
Yes, sir.
All right. You said you saw his mouth move. Could you hear what he was saying?
No, sir.
And you said you saw a gun. What was the person you identified as Michael Dunn? Was he driving the car?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you see that person do with the gun?
I seen him pull it up and point it towards my car.
And you could not hear what he was saying at that time?
No, sir.
All right. Did you ever say anything to that person that was pointing the gun?
No.
Did you hear Leland Brunson say anything to him?
No, sir.
Or Tevin Thompson?
No, sir.
Did you hear Jordan Davis threaten that person
No.
at any time?
No, sir.
Did you ever see Jordan Davis threaten him?
No, sir.
Did you see or notice anything in Jordan Davis's hands when you got back in the truck?
No, sir.
Did you see or hear Jordan Davis ever attempt to get out of the Durango?
No, sir.
And when you got back in the car, did you hear or see Leland Brunson threaten the driver of the other car, the black sedan, in any way?
No, sir.
Did you hear or see Tevin Thompson threaten the driver?
No, sir.
Did you threaten the driver?
No, sir.
Did you have any weapons of any kind in the Dodge Durango?
No, sir.
All right. Did you see where the driver got the gun from?
No.
Where was it when you first saw it?
Pointing at me.
And what color was it?
I remember seeing black and silver.
All right, let me ask you to look at your monitor. States 113. Does that look like the firearm that you saw in the hand of the driver?
Yes, sir.
And what did the driver do with the gun after you looked at it?
To my recollection, he started to fire because at that point is when I knew that I was in danger and I had to get away. So I started to back out of my parking space.
All right. Do you know where the gun was pointed when it was first fired?
No.
But you heard it fire?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then your reaction was to do what?
To try and get away.
And how did you do that?
I threw my car in reverse.
Did the gunshots continue as you backed up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how far did you back up?
Just enough for me to drive away without hitting anything.
And what did you do after you backed up?
I drove, I guess, left towards the plaza.
All right, and were you driving in reverse or forward now?
Forward.
All right, did you hear additional gunshots as you were driving forward?
Yes.
Did you hear any gunshots strike the car?
I remember hearing glass shatter.
And how did you feel when you were driving away, being shot at, and you heard the glass shatter?
I mean, I was in a panic, just scared.
Where did you go when you pulled forward?
When I pulled forward, I went into the plaza connected to the gate parking lot.
Did you drive all the way through the plaza?
No, sir.
And why did you stop?
To check on and see if everyone was okay.
Okay, let me show you states number 1. Have you seen that before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you press on that screen, it'll make a mark. You got to
Okay.
press hard. Can you circle, first of all, where the gate gas station is? All right, Judge, just for record purposes, the witness has circled appears to be a structure towards the right side of the screen. Mr. Storns, can you show the jury approximately where you were parked when you initially parked at the Gate gas station? Okay, and that's to the left of the entrance?
Yes, sir.
All right, now show them, if you would, by drawing it, how you backed up, where you backed up, and where you went. All right, and is that the area where the line ends? Is that the approximate area where you stopped?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you stopped the Durango, did you try to see where the black car was that had been shooting at you?
Yes, sir.
Where did you look?
In my rearview mirror?
Did you see the black car when you looked in your rearview mirror?
No, sir.
Did you try to check on the status of everybody else in the car?
Yes, sir.
How did you do that?
I called everyone's name.
When you called Tevin Thompson's name, did he respond?
Yes, sir.
When you called Leland Brunson's name, did he respond?
Yes, sir.
When you called Jordan Davis's name, did he respond?
No, sir.
Did you look back into the back seat when Jordan Davis didn't respond?
Yes, sir.
And how was Jordan Davis positioned?
Against Leland?
Against Leland?
Yes.
Like leaning on him?
Yes, sir.
Was Jordan Davis making any sounds at that time?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
He was gasping for air.
Was Jordan Davis moving in any way?
No, sir.
Did you get out of the Durango when Jordan Davis didn't respond?
Yes, sir.
Judge, yeah, is that?
Water. Yeah, can we hang a minute, then can we get one of the jurors some water? Let one of the bailiffs get it, Mr. Stroller, thank you very much.
Mr. Storns, I believe you said you got out of the Durango when you stopped in the plaza. Why did you get out?
To check on everyone and to see the vehicle, see like, basically try and see like if it was, I don't know, real, and see what happened. I don't know, just my first reaction was trying to get out and check on people.
And did you go all the way around the Durango when you got out?
Yes, sir.
What did you see when you got out and went around the Durango?
I seen bullet holes in my car
Where?
on the passenger side.
Do you recall whether or not you opened any of the doors, the rear doors, when you got out?
No, I do not recall whether I did or not.
And what did you see, or what did you do after seeing Jordan Davis and seeing the bullet holes in the passenger side of the car?
I ran back around the car and got in the driver's seat and backed up to the Gate gas station.
Did you get all the way back to the Gate gas station?
Yes, sir.
And when you were driving back to the Gate gas did you call 911 that evening at some point?
Yes, sir.
And did you get through to them?
No.
Where were you when you tried to call 911, if you recall?
I do not recall exactly where I was when I...
To the Gate gas station.
I guess I felt like it was the closest place for help, and it's the most lit place, so it was I guess it was the place that rung a light bulb in my head to go.
And when you got back to the Gate gas station, did you park the car again?
Yes, sir.
And where, generally?
On the left side of the entrance.
All right.
of
Were
the
you again
gate.
facing the store?
Yes, sir.
When you stopped your car back at the Gate gas station, did you get out of the Durango?
Yes, sir.
And where did you go first?
I walked around the front of the vehicle to the vehicle that was to the right of mine.
And why did you do that?
I was asking if anyone had called the police, and just in a panic.
Did you see Jordan Davis?
Outside the vehicle?
Yes, when you were outside.
No.
All right. Did you check on Jordan Davis at that point?
Yes.
How?
I went to check and see if he had a pulse.
And what did you find?
I did not feel one.
When you went to check on Jordan Davis, did you notice anyone else calling 911 or appear to be calling 911?
No, sir.
Did people come over to the Durango to offer help?
Yes, sir.
And did people take Jordan Davis out of the car?
Yes, sir.
And did you see those people do anything to Jordan Davis after he was out of the car?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Give CPR.
At some point, did police officers arrive with rescue?
Yes, sir.
And were you directed into the gate store itself?
Yes, sir.
And were Tevin Thompson and Leland Brunson also directed into the store?
Yes, sir.
Were there also civilians who were asked to come into the store?
Yes, sir.
From the gate station, were you taken to the police memorial building in downtown Jacksonville?
Yes, sir.
And how did you get there?
In a police car.
Were you transported downtown with Leland Brunson and Tevin Thompson?
Yes, sir.
And were you interviewed by homicide detectives when you got downtown?
Yes, sir.
When you spoke with the homicide detectives, were you with either Leland Brunson or Tevin Thompson?
When I was interviewed, no.
Okay, y'all were interviewed separately.
Yes, sir.
All right. Were you interviewed with any other witness in the room?
No, sir.
All right. During your interview with the detectives, did they show you a series of photographs?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to positively identify the driver of the other car from that series of photographs?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
You identified a single person?
Well, not. I narrowed down to 2 photos.
Okay. Did you kind of tell the detectives which 2 photos you had selected?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before the detectives showed you photographs, did they give you instructions on how to read that photo spread?
Yes, sir.
And did you actually sign that document?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Storns, in November 2012, were you on felony probation?
Yes, sir.
And what level crime were you on probation for?
A 3rd-degree felony.
As part of your probation, did you have a curfew?
Yes, sir.
And what, did you have an evening curfew?
Yes, sir.
What time were you supposed to be at home?
7:00 p.m.
All right, so every night at 7 o'clock, you were supposed to be inside your residence?
Yes, sir.
All right, and this occurred after 7 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did that violation come to the attention of your probation officer?
Yes, sir.
And what was done with your probation as a result of you being out past 7 o'clock on November 23rd, 2012?
My probation was continued.
Did you ever go before a judge as a result of that violation?
No, sir.
To your knowledge, did anybody from the state attorney's office or the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office help you or attempt to help you in getting your probation continued?
No, sir.
Did you ever ask anyone from the state attorney's office or the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to help you get your probation continued?
No, sir.
Did you complete your probation?
Yes, sir.
And when was that?
August of 2013.
All right, let me ask you to look at your monitor. Sir, would you clear that for me? Thank you so much. State's number 9. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Does that appear to be where you parked the Dodge Durango when you drove back to the gate station?
Yes, sir.
And States 21, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Does States 21 depict the area where Jordan Davis's body was laid after he was removed from the Dodge Durango?
Yes, sir.
States 22, let me back up. In States 21, do you see the tan jacket or clothing, whatever it is, on
Yes,
the
sir.
floor, on the ground? In States 22, is that a close-up of that?
Yes.
Whose jacket is that?
That is mine.
Okay, did you have it on that evening?
No, sir.
Where was it?
It was in the back seat of my car.
States 24, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
And what is that?
That is Jordan Davis's wallet.
Is that a photograph of Jordan Davis?
Yes, sir.
States 26, do you recognize that as being the driver's seat area of your Dodge Durango?
Yes, sir.
And is that the way it appeared when you got out of it, when you pulled back into the gate gas station?
Yes, sir.
In States 49, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That is the inside of my car.
And is that the way it appeared on the evening of November 23rd, 2012?
Yes, sir.
All right. States 36, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
is that the bullet holes, or some of the bullet holes that you saw when you circled your car in the plaza?
Yes, sir.
In States 51, you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Do your speakers, those 12-inch, I guess you call them subwoofers or
Yes,
something
sir.
like that, do they appear in that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Can you circle those for the jury? The record should reflect that he circled 2 objects in the car. Those other items in the car, are those yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it was your car.
Yes, sir.
Your basketball shoes,
Yes, sir.
your clothes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Storms, do you see something yellow in that photograph, States 51, up on towards the upper left-hand corner?
Yes, sir.
You know what that is?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That is a Carnival Cruise Cup.
A what?
A Carnival Cruise Cup.
Okay. Had someone been on a Carnival cruise?
Yes, my aunt. We have a lot of Carnival Cruise Cups at our house.
Okay. Let me ask you, prior to this trial beginning, were you advised not to speak with any other witness in the case?
Yes, sir.
And have you spoken to any other witness in the case?
No, sir.
All right. Did you watch a portion of this trial yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Tell the members of the jury what portion of the trial you watched yesterday.
I remember seeing the opening statements. I seen Aaliyah. I remember seeing the African American looking woman that worked at the gas station, and I remember seeing one other man that had walked out of the front of the gas station.
All right. When you saw Aaliyah, as you called her, did you recognize her as being the young woman that you had run into with Jordan Davis on the night of November 23rd, 2012?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you recognize any other people that you saw testify?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time I would ask to, can I ask to approach?
Yes.
Mr. Storms, let me show you States 166. Is your signature on there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is that the form that you were read or that was read to you, either one, when you looked at the photographs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you sign it acknowledging that you understood the instructions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is it dated?
Yes.
What's the date on it?
11/24/12.
All right. So that was shown to you after midnight?
Yes.
Judge, if I could publish one more exhibit, it's a portion of the gate videotape, and I apologize, I don't have the number. Ms. Court, do you have the number of the gate videotape?
$169 maybe? I think it's 169. Okay,
I believe it's 168.
all right.
If you play that for me, Ms. Waldo. Mr. Storms, we just played a portion of a videotape. Do you recognize anybody in that videotape?
Yes, sir.
Who was that? Who was that?
Me.
Okay, is that you at the counter on the night of November 23rd, 2012,
Yes, sir.
when you were buying the gum and cigarettes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Judge, that's all I have.
Mr. Stroller?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Storms, real briefly, you were told by the state attorney's office not to discuss your testimony with witnesses, correct?
Yes, sir.
And not to discuss other witness testimony with yourself, correct?
Could you repeat the question, please?
You were told not to discuss your testimony with other witnesses, true?
Yes.
And you were also told by the state attorney's office not to have other witnesses talk to you about their testimony. Isn't that true?
Yes.
All right. But yesterday you took it upon yourself to watch the proceedings on the computer, didn't you?
Yes, I did see.
You also watched witnesses, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
All right. So basically it was just like you were sitting in the front row, wasn't it? Did you not get
I wouldn't
a
say.
front row view?
Yes, parts.
All right. And you got to watch what witnesses testified to, correct?
Parts, yes.
And even though you were told by the state attorney's office not to, is that correct?
I was told by the state attorney's office not to talk to people about the case. I didn't know that I could not follow what was going on.
So basically you wanted to play a technicality, right?
Sustained.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Storms. You were on probation the night this happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had a curfew, did you not?
Yes, sir.
And the curfew was 7 o'clock, was it not?
Yes, sir.
And you intentionally violated that curfew by being out, isn't that true?
I didn't intentionally violate, no, sir.
All right, when we played that video, it was about 7:38, 7:39 at night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, did somebody force you to drive to the gate gas station?
No, sir.
Did Jordan Davis force you to go to the mall?
No, sir.
Did Leland Brunson force you to go to the mall?
No, sir.
Did Tevin Thompson coerce you to go to the mall?
No, sir.
Did they coerce you to stay there past 7 o'clock?
No, sir.
And yet you knew you were on probation, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were leaving one mall to go to another mall, weren't you?
We were in the discussion of whether they wanted to go to the mall or go home. I had decided that I was going home.
All right, well, let me ask you this. You were the only one who owned a car, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are you going to do, drop him off at the mall
Yes.
and then go home?
Yes, sir.
But it was already 7:40 at night when you bought gum and cigarettes, right?
Yes, sir.
And you remember everyone talking in the car about let's go get gum so we can go talk to girls at the other mall.
Jordan expressed that our breath stink, and I smoke cigarettes myself. So when he said that, I knew that my breath probably stinks. So that was my reason for getting the gum.
And isn't it true you smoke when you drink alcohol, sir?
Yes, sir.
And you're addicted to cigarettes, isn't that true?
No, sir.
All right. Did you buy cigarettes that night?
Yes, sir.
Were you drinking that night?
No, sir.
Were you smoking any marijuana that night?
No, sir.
Now, a violation was filed, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you told the Department of Corrections, your probation office, that you left the mall at 6:30. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And that's not true, is it?
To my recollection, at that time, it was true.
All right. Are you saying to this jury that it takes an hour and 10 minutes to drive from the town center mall to the gate gas station?
No, sir.
How can that be true then?
No, I'm saying that I thought it was 6:30. I thought it was around 6:30 when I left the mall, but it was not. The police report said that it was after 7 when everything happened. That's how I got my violation. To my recollection, I thought it was before 7 when everything happened.
All right. And basically, they knew that you were a witness in the Michael Dunn case, didn't they?
Who, my probation?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You told them that, right?
I never told them that I was a witness, but I mean, they would assume since I was involved in what
And it was
happened.
highly publicized, was it not?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, even though you said your probation got continued, that's not really a consequence, is it? You weren't up for early termination, were you?
I had the option of early termination upon full payment of restitution.
But that doesn't have to do with violating curfew, does it?
No.
And did you early term your probation?
Did I early terminate?
Yes.
No, sir.
Right. And that's because of the restitution issue wasn't paid. It has nothing to do with the violation. Isn't that true?
Can you repeat the question, please?
You just said you had the option of early term if you paid restitution.
Yes,
you
sir.
didn't do that, did you?
No, sir.
That had nothing to do with your violation. You suffered absolutely zero consequences in Duval County for violating your probation. Isn't that true?
To my recollection, their consequences was continuing my probation. So whatever their consequences was, that was my consequence.
Well, weren't you already on probation?
Yes, sir.
Didn't you have to continue probation until you paid restitution?
Yes, sir.
you
Well, I
didn't
had to
do that.
continue probation until my probation was ended or I paid restitution. It was
And
either
when did it end?
August 2013.
Right. So you didn't have to do community service, did you?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
I meant for the violation, sir.
No, sir.
Right. You didn't get picked up on a violation of probation warrant and have to go to the jail, did you?
No.
You didn't even have to hire an attorney, did you?
I already had an attorney.
Well, you didn't even have to step into court then, did you?
No, sir.
Did you call your attorney and then say, hey, this is what happened and it was to me? Can you go tell the judge?
No.
Right. So you never even had to seek out an attorney you never even stepped foot into court to answer to your violation of probation. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And your probation officer knew that you were a state's witness in this case, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Now, isn't it true you called 911 at 7:40? Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And you told Mr. Guy that you couldn't get through. Is that what your testimony today?
I didn't say that I couldn't get through. I said that I didn't get through.
Okay. And isn't it true you hung up after 1 second?
Yes, sir.
So it's not that you didn't get through. You chose to call 911 and hang up. True.
When I called 911, Tevin was already on the phone with the police, so I hung up.
And this was at 7:40 p.m.
I believe so, yes.
All right. You're talking seconds after the shooting happened. Is that correct?
If it was at seconds, I don't know if that was seconds after the shooting happened.
Well, you just saw a portion of the video. Did you look at the time on the bottom?
No, sir.
So do you have any time, the exact minute and second, the shots rang out?
No, sir.
Did it take you 30 seconds to drive 100 yards, get out, check, come back, and reverse all the way back? That took you a lot more than 30 seconds, wouldn't you say?
I don't know exactly how long it took. It was a short period of time, a very short period of time.
All right. And would you agree the video is going to be the best estimate of time?
Yeah.
Right? A video doesn't lie, right?
No.
The video wasn't manipulated that you just watched, correct?
No.
The state didn't change anything on it, did they?
No.
And it's got no bias or prejudice, does it?
No.
So you'd agree that's the best evidence for a time frame.
Sustained.
You do agree that at 7:40 you called 911 and hung up. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Now, the next day after this happened, you posted on Facebook about this, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You actually posted that your quote-unquote homeboy didn't make it. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And you only knew Jordan Davis for less than a month, right?
Yes, sir.
You only knew Leland Brunson for less than a month, right?
Yes, sir.
You only knew Tevin Thompson for about 3 months, right?
No, I knew Tevin Thompson. Well, actually, I knew Tevin Thompson since 2010, I believe, 2011.
But you left school while he was there, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You only knew him from the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
But you were hanging out with him at that time, were you?
At the time that I met him?
In school. You weren't hanging out with him then.
No, not in school.
It was just recently.
Yes.
And you even said that you're not even close with him, correct?
I mean, I'm close with him, but we don't hang out every day.
All right. And you even said that you're not close to Jordan Davis or Leland Brunson. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
But yet you call him your homeboy the next day on Facebook, and you even said, I'm just letting everybody know I'm okay and my truck got shot up, right?
Sustained.
Let me ask this, Mr. Storns. You produce music and you create music, do you not?
Yes, sir.
That's part of your profession.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true about a week after the shooting, you created a song about Jordan Davis, right?
Yes, sir.
And you published that to the world on your YouTube channel with your music. Isn't that true?
I'm not sure if I put it on my YouTube channel or not, but I did put it on the internet, yes, sir.
All right. And the name of the song was called Jordan Davis, correct?
I believe so, yes, sir.
All right. And you're smart enough to know marketing. When people were looking up Jordan Davis's name, your song could pop up.
At the time, I wasn't thinking about that.
And isn't it true you posted it so that you could try to make money from Jordan Davis?
No, sir.
Even though you titled the song Jordan Davis.
No, sir.
And you knew the man what he said. Is that true?
That's true.
Right, you couldn't hear anything Mr. Dunn said, true?
True.
And matter of fact, the music was so loud in your truck you couldn't hear anything that Jordan Davis was saying. Isn't that true?
I don't know how loud the music was when I got back to the car.
All right. Was it loud enough where you couldn't hear Jordan Davis cursing and yelling at Mr. Dunn?
I don't know.
You
I
can't
did.
recall?
I didn't hear him yelling or cursing at Mr. Dunn. No,
And
but
was the music turned up at that time?
yes, it was.
All right. And when you looked over, was the music still up?
Yes,
And in your truck, you have dark tinted windows, don't you?
yes. They're legal tint, but they're yes,
But they are the darkest legal tint you can have, correct?
yes, sir.
And this is at night,
Yes, sir.
all right, in front of a gas station parking lot, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Dunn doesn't have tinted windows, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
And you never heard Mr. Dunn say anything at all?
I never heard him. No.
Now, when you went down to homicide, you actually could see Tevin Thompson giving his statement on the little video monitor when they put him in the room. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And you told Tevin that, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was before you gave a statement to police?
I think so. Yes, sir.
All right. And then they put you in that room after Tevin and you gave your statement. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
Did they ever ask you to record it, either by a hand recorder or video?
No, sir.
Did they ever ask you to write it down?
I don't think so. No, sir.
Okay. Did they ever give you an oath to tell the truth like you did today with the clerk?
I'm not sure.
Did they ever give you the oath to tell the truth like when we took your deposition?
At the time that I was giving my statements,
To the police, yes.
I'm not sure. I don't remember on that.
Okay. And again, you don't even recall writing anything down about that, correct?
I don't remember.
And how much time did the homicide detectives take talking to you when you were at their office in that little room?
I'm not sure exactly how long it was.
10, 15 minutes?
I don't know.
Well, in terms of your testimony today, shorter?
I have no clue.
So as we sit here today, you have no recollection of how long you talked to the officers about what you've just testified to today?
No, sir.
Now, matter of fact, when you got back in the car, you never even saw any argument going on between Mr. Dunn and Jordan Davis. Isn't that true?
You said when I got back in the car?
When you got back in your truck at the gas station.
Did I ever see any argument between Jordan Davis and Michael? No,
Yeah,
sir.
Mr. Dunn.
No, sir.
Matter of fact, when you came out of the gate gas station, you had to turn to the right and walk directly in front of my client's car, correct?
Yes.
You had a clear view right into his car. It wasn't tinted windows, correct?
If I was to look, yes, sir.
Right. Matter of fact, was he doing anything that drew your attention?
My attention wasn't focused on him, so no, nothing that drew my attention, no.
Right. He wasn't screaming, wasn't pounding the steering wheel, nothing like that?
Not that I could hear, no.
Not looking back with his hands out the window, yelling at anybody in your truck, right?
As I was walking past, no.
Right. And even when you got into the car, you opened the car and you said you did a little dance to the music, right?
Yes.
So at that point, you had no idea anything was going on between Mr. Dunn and Jordan Davis. Isn't that true?
Correct.
And it wasn't until you got in the car and then Tevin decided to tell you what was going on, correct?
He told me, hey, let's go.
Right. And now, did Tevin seem panicked when he said to you, let's go?
He wasn't, not panicked. He was just, as a normal, hey, let's go,
Right. And did Leland Brunson seem panicked and tell you, hey, let's go?
No.
Right. And isn't it true? Neither of them told you, hey, man, this guy's got a gun. We got to get out of here.
No.
Is that true?
That's true.
Right. And there were no signs of a physical altercation or verbal altercation from Mr. Dunn to Jordan Davis. Isn't that true?
Not that I can see, no.
And even when you saw him mouth words, he didn't look angry, right?
He did look angry, but I didn't know what he was saying or anything.
But he wasn't yelling.
I couldn't hear him, so I don't know if he was yelling or not.
Even facial expressions. You could tell if someone's yelling at you, even if the sound's off.
I mean, yes and then no. I seen his mouth moving, but I couldn't tell whether he was yelling or talking in a normal voice.
Now, you said that Mr. Dunn aimed the gun at you. Is that correct?
He pointed the gun towards my car.
Right. He didn't aim it at you. True?
I don't know if he necessarily aimed directly at me, but I know it was pointed towards my car.
Right. And matter of fact, you have tinted windows, so he wouldn't even know where you're sitting in the car other than assuming where the seat is, correct?
I mean, looking at the car, you know where all the seats are, so yes, you would know where I'm sitting.
And that's because you guys were lined up, driver's seat, passenger seat, and then Mr. Dunn's vehicle is below you because he's in a Jetta and you're in a Durango, correct?
Yes, sir.
But all in a straight line?
Depends how you say a straight line.
Well, right across from you. If you look to your right, like you are right now, Tevin Thompson was to your right,
Yes, sir.
and to Tevin's right was Mr. Dunn.
Yes, sir.
All right, and he was just a little bit lower because it's a Jetta, correct?
Yes, sir.
And matter of fact, when you backed out, you backed around Mr. Dunn's car and then drove straight out of the gate gas station, true?
I don't remember exactly how I backed out or backed around his car or not, but yes, I did back out. So I would guess that yes, I backed around his car and went forward.
Now, when you pull out and you finally stop the car in the other plaza, are you saying you didn't open any doors except your own to get out of the vehicle?
I don't remember whether I opened any other doors or not.
Okay. You just don't recall?
No, I don't recall.
All right. How about Tevin Thompson? What was he doing?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Well, where did he go? Did he get out? What did he do?
To my recollection, he was still in the vehicle.
All right. So you're saying Tevin never even got out of the vehicle?
Not that I
Tevin
know
Thompson.
of. Not that I know of.
And did you ever see Mr. Dunn's vehicle leave and then go out on South Side?
I never seen his vehicle leave. No.
No?
No.
Was there any discussion with Tevin Thompson saying, oh my God, there's that guy who just shot at us, there's his car? Any discussion with Mr. Thompson about that?
No.
And as far as you recall, he never even gets out of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. And in that, that's when you call 911 and hang up. Fair to say?
I don't know if that's the exact moment. No, I don't know.
But you know from your records, you recall it was 7:40 p.m., true?
Yes.
Now, when you get back, do you get out of the car and ask Miss Ickes to call 911?
I believe I got out of the car and asked if anyone was on the phone. I don't remember exactly how I said it or anything, but I do remember making a statement about, help.
Okay. But you didn't call 911 at that point?
At that point, no.
And you had the phone in your hand still, correct?
I do not know if the phone's still in my hand or not.
All right. Where was your phone then?
I would guess either in my car or in my pocket, or I don't know.
And again, you made phone calls that night where we went through some numbers that you don't even recognize the numbers that you called. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And that was right after the shooting took place. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And matter of fact, your aunt came up to the scene with, I believe, your cousin and was standing in the plaza. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And you learned of that later, correct?
That they came to the scene?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see them that night?
Yes, I seen them that night.
All right. And then you had to go inside the gate gas station because that's where they want all the witnesses to go, correct?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Now, you knew Mr. Davis was shot in the back of your vehicle when you were stopped at that plaza, correct?
Yes.
So then why not call 911 and stay right there?
I just wanted to get to someone that could help. I don't know. My first instinct was to go to the brightest place, the place where I know there's a person that can maybe help us.
Well, you're in a parking lot that's open to the public, correct?
Yes.
People are there in the parking lot, correct?
I don't remember seeing anyone in the parking lot, no.
So you're saying no businesses were open and no other cars were present?
There were other cars and businesses present, but I don't remember seeing anyone in particular, like a body standing around or anything.
And at that point, you didn't call 911?
At the point where I was stopped in the plaza?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I'm not sure what point I had called 911. I remember it was at 7:40, but I don't remember exactly where it was or.
Did you tell Tevin to call 911?
I remember saying we need help, someone call 911, but I don't remember saying Tevin, call 911 like that, but.
Well, when you asked someone, call 911, were you still in that plaza?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Let me ask you this. Were you terrified at that point?
Yes, sir.
Had you ever been shot at before in your life?
No, sir.
Had you ever been around gunfire like that before?
No, sir.
Is it fair to say it shook you up?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say you were in a panic?
Yes, sir.
So when you got out, are you screaming, call 911, someone call 911, or did you say it as softly and calmly as you just did?
At the moment, I know I wasn't talking soft and calmly. I was in a panic. I was all over the place. I was just in a panic. I remember running around the car, like just not knowing what to do, and I ran back around the car and got in and backed up to the gas station.
And you only live a few minutes away from that gas station, correct?
No, I lived downtown. At the
How
time.
long would it take you to drive there?
Maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
All right. And besides your aunt, who else was in that plaza that came up there that night you were standing there?
That I knew, just my cousin.
And where does he live?
He lives here in Jacksonville.
How close to that gas station?
At the time, I believe he stayed on Southside Boulevard.
So he was right down the street.
Yes.
He was there fairly quick.
Yes, sir.
I was one of the people you called,
Yes, sir.
among some of the others you can't remember, correct?
I only called 2 people, and that was my aunt and my cousin.
You did make other calls that night, correct?
I believe I made one other call that night.
Okay. Were you also texting people?
I'm not sure.
Judge, I don't have anything further.
Mr. Guy.
Mr. Storms, when you got out of the car in the plaza, did you take anything out of your car?
No, sir.
Did you take, like, for example, did you take a shotgun and like shove it under a car that was in the parking lot?
No, sir.
Did you try to throw it out onto Southside Boulevard?
No, sir.
Did you put it in the bushes?
No, sir.
Did you take anything at all out of that car when you got out?
No, sir.
Did you see anybody else do that?
No, sir.
Did you see anybody throw anything out of the car?
No, sir.
When you called your aunt, what's her name again?
Lily Billingsley?
Okay, and I think the Dodge Durango is actually in her name, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you call Lily Billingsley and ask her to come down and pick up a shotgun that had been removed from the car and take it out of the parking lot?
No, sir.
Did you call her to ask her to come down there and take anything?
No, sir.
Did you call your cousin and ask them to come down and remove something from the parking lot?
No, sir.
Was there any type of weapon, to your knowledge, in that car, your car, that night?
No, sir.
You were asked about the period of time that you spoke with the detectives downtown. Did you have somewhere to be? I mean, were you looking at your watch thinking, gosh, this is really taking a long time. I need to get home.
No, sir.
Did you know when you were downtown that Jordan Davis was dead? Did you know that yet?
No, sir.
When did you learn that?
After we went through the photo spread.
Did he look okay when they put him on the ground?
No, sir.
Is the reason you didn't continue your call with 911 because Tevin Thompson or someone else was already on the phone, to your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And I believe you said on cross-examination that the reason you drove back to the gate because it was the brightest spot and had help.
Yes,
My
sir.
question to you is this: when you got back there, was it well lit?
Yes, sir.
Did help come?
Yes, sir.
You were asked about the testimony that you watched yesterday, and you said parts of it. Explain to the jury what you meant. Was it a perfect feed through the device that you were watching it on, or how did that work?
No, sir. I was watching it on my computer, but my computer kept buffering the video, so it kept cutting off, and I would have to try and refresh and reconnect my internet to get it to come back on. So I only seen bits and parts of everything.
When you didn't see the driver, the shooter, you couldn't hear what he was saying.
No, sir.
Is that right? Did you see his mouth move?
Yes, sir.
How did he look when his mouth was moving? Did he look happy? Did he look bothered? Did he look angry? How did he look?
He looked like he wasn't in a good mood.
And you were asked about a song
Yes, sir.
that you wrote.
Yes, sir.
Did you write a song for Jordan Davis?
Yes, sir.
Did you write that song so that people would buy it? And
No,
you
sir.
You could make money off of it?
No, sir.
Were you trying to profit off the 17-year-old's death who had been riding in your car?
No, sir.
Why did you write the song?
I wrote the song as a memorial to Jordan. Like, if you met Jordan and know Jordan, he had a big heart. Like, just off meeting him, you know, you can get a vibe of what type of person he was. So that was my reason for writing the song about him.
Judge, that's all I have.
May he be excused?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stroller?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Storms, you're excused. State's next witness.
Alyssa LeBlanc.
Alyssa LeBlanc, please. Good afternoon, ma'am. If you'll come right up here towards the front for me, thank you. And if you'll raise your right hand, the clerk's going to administer the oath to you, right here in front.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. If you'll come right around this way, watch your step as you come around. There's a little kind of ramp there. Be careful. And once you're comfortable, just get close to the microphone or adjust it if you need and speak right into it so we can hear you, all right? And keep your voice up.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Guy?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. If you'd please tell the members of the jury your name.
Alyssa LeBlanc.
Ms. LeBlanc, do you live, well, will you do this? Will you spell your last name for me?
Sure. Leblanc.
But the C is silent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you live here in Jacksonville?
Yes.
How long have you lived in the Jacksonville area?
For about 22 years.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where is it that you work?
At KIP Voice.
And what is KIP Voice?
It's an elementary school.
And what do you do for them?
I'm a kindergarten teacher.
All right. Where's that school located?
It's in Northwest Jacksonville off of McDuff.
And how long have you been at that school?
This is my second year.
In November of 2012, what area of town did you live in?
In Southside area.
Let me turn your attention then to the early evening hours of Friday, November 23rd, 2012. Do you recall that evening?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you go out to dinner that evening?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go?
I went to the Loop.
And what Loop location did you go to?
It's on Southside Boulevard.
Is it near the intersection of Southside Boulevard and Bay Meadows Road?
Yes, sir, it is.
And is it in a small strip of stores that runs along Southside Boulevard?
Yes, sir.
Had you ever been to that plaza or that strip of stores before that evening?
Yes, sir, I had.
And is that because you lived in the area at the time?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to dinner with anyone that evening?
I did.
Who was that?
My roommate at the time and my brother and my nephew,
Your brother's name is what?
Christopher.
And your nephew, it was how old approximately in November of 2012?
I think he had just turned 2.
All right. Did you ride to the Loop with anyone?
I rode with my brother and my nephew.
And whose car did you take?
It was my car.
And who was driving?
I was.
All right. Did your roommate drive separately?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you to look at your monitor. And State's Exhibit 1, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Have you seen that before?
I have.
All right. Do you recognize that as being the plaza of stores where the Loop restaurant is located?
Yes, sir.
Do you know approximately where the Loop restaurant is located within that strip?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, could you circle on the screen if you roommate with you when you and your brother and your nephew were walking back to your car?
No, sir.
What had happened to her? What had she done?
She was parked closer to the restaurant, so she got right into her truck and left as we were walking to my car.
All right. As you were walking back to your car, did you hear anything that caught your attention?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
Gunshots.
Where did the gunshots sound as though they were coming from?
From the Gate gas station to our left.
And did you know that there was a Gate gas station to your left from having been there before?
Yes, sir.
Where was your nephew when you were walking back to the car?
I was holding him.
All right. And what did you do when you heard the gunshots?
Stopped briefly for a second and then ran to my car.
Did you hear additional gunshots?
Yes, sir.
When you got to your car, did you still hear gunshots?
Yes.
All right. What side of your car did you go to?
The passenger side.
All right. And because your car was parked facing Southside Boulevard, would that have been the opposite side from the Gate gas station?
Correct.
And is that why you went to the passenger side?
Correct.
After the gunshots stopped, did you see any vehicles in that parking lot that caught your attention?
Yes, sir.
What kind of car was it?
It was a red SUV.
What was it about the red SUV that caught your attention?
It was speeding in our direction.
And where was the red SUV coming from when you first noticed it?
From the gas station.
Was it coming towards you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did the red SUV pass you?
No, sir.
Did it stop?
Yes, sir.
When it stopped, the red SUV, did it pull into a parking space or did it just stop kind of straight facing?
No, sir. It just stopped in the middle of the parking lot.
Can you show the members of the jury on State's Exhibit 1 on your monitor by making some sort of mark?
Sure.
The approximate area where the red SUV stopped?
It was about there.
Okay. And like you said, did it stop just like that? I mean, that is facing forward as opposed to pulling into a space?
Right. It was just in the middle here, facing, the front of the car was facing us.
Okay. And that would be to the left of the screen as you're looking at it?
Yes.
Okay. Where was your attention focused at that point?
On the red SUV.
And why was that?
Because I just heard gunshots, so I didn't know if the vehicle that was coming towards us were the people that had just done the shooting or if they were fleeing from the shooting.
Did you see anyone get out of the SUV?
Yes, sir.
How many people?
I saw two men.
And where did those two men get out of the car from?
The driver's seat and the front passenger seat.
Could you tell what race, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, these men were?
They were African American.
And where did the black male that you saw get out of the front passenger seat, where did he go?
He went towards the back of the vehicle.
And when he did that, could you see what he was doing?
No, sir.
All right. And did you ever see that person, the person who got out of the front passenger seat, did you ever see him leave the area of the car?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you ever see anything come out of the car at all? Any type of object of any kind?
No, sir.
What did the driver do when he got out of the car?
I saw him go towards the back of his vehicle, and he was talking on a cell phone and looking on the back door. And I guess in my mind, I thought he was looking to see if there was damage on the side of his vehicle. That was the first thing that I saw him do.
All right. Did you ever see the driver lean in any part of the car?
Yes.
Where?
he had opened up the back door and he was leaning inside the back of the vehicle.
Do you know what he was looking at?
No, sir.
Do you know what he was doing?
No, sir, I couldn't see.
Did you ever see the driver remove anything from the car?
No, sir.
Did you ever see the driver leave the immediate area of the car?
No, sir.
At any point, did you see anything fly out of the car?
No, sir.
Did you ever see anyone other than the front seat passenger and the driver get out of the car?
No, sir, I did not.
At some point, did you take your attention off of the red SUV?
I did.
Okay, and why was that?
To get the keys out of my purse.
And what did you do with the keys?
I gave them to my brother.
Can you estimate for the members of the jury approximately how long the two men were outside the car?
I would say it was about a minute, from the time they got out to the time they got back in.
All right. And is it fair to say that you were not timing that in any way?
Correct.
Who put your nephew back in the car?
My brother did.
All right. And at that age, was he put into a car seat?
Yes, sir.
What did the red SUV do after that approximate minute when the driver and the front passenger got back in?
Reversed back to the gas station.
And when you say reverse, do you mean that literally? That is, the car backed up?
Correct.
Did you get in your car at some point?
Yes, sir.
And what part of the car did you get into?
The driver's side.
And when you got in your car, did you leave the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
And where did you go?
I went back to my apartment.
Can you just show the jury by indicating on the screen where it was, how you left the parking lot, which exit you took or entrance?
Sure. I left through the entrance. You can't see it on the screen, but it was all the way on the left.
It's to the left of the screen, further
Yes.
up?
Yes.
Okay, can you just kind of draw for the jury then where you went from the place where you were parked?
This way.
Okay, and then further off the screen,
Yes.
there'd be an exit?
Right.
Okay. And where did you see the SUV go when it reversed? Where was it headed toward?
Back towards the gas station.
And from the plaza, where did you go?
I went to my apartment.
Okay. And at that time, you lived on the south side?
Yes, sir.
All right. Why did you leave the plaza when you did?
Because I didn't know what was going on. I had heard gunshots and didn't want to be there.
Did you or your brother call 911 at any point that evening?
Yes, sir. My brother called 911 as we were leaving the plaza.
Did you ever speak with a 911 operator?
Yes.
And for what purpose?
I was giving them the address to my apartment.
Did they ask for your address? The 911 operator?
Yes, I believe so.
Did an officer come speak with you that evening?
No, sir.
Did the police later make contact with you?
Yes, sir.
How did they make contact with you?
I found a detective's card on my door,
When?
maybe a day or two after.
All right. And did you call the detective when you got the card?
Yes, sir.
Did you later meet with detectives in person?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you tell them what you had seen and heard that evening?
Yes, sir.
At any point that evening, did you see anything in or around or on the person of either of the two black males that got out, anything that looked like a weapon?
No, sir.
Do you know what a shotgun looks like? Time I would ask to publish Mix LeBlanc's 911 call.
Is that part of 167? It is? Okay. All right.
And Judge, with the court's permission and Judge, with the court's permission and counsel's, I'll just play Ms. LeBlanc's portion of the call because it starts and she doesn't get on the phone for about 4.5 minutes.
Mr. Stroller, is that all right?
As long as they're eventually gonna play the whole thing, yeah, no objection.
All right.
It's kind of part and parcel, the brother's on first, then.
Okay.
And Ms. Waldrop, her part starts at about 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Jackson 911, Matthews.
And Ms. LeBlanc, while she's queuing that up, that would have been made as you all were leaving the plaza
Yes, sir.
on the way back to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
Hang on a second. I'll let you speak with her because she knows this area better than I do.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Hi, my address is 7595 Bay Meadows Circle West, apartment 2014. 2014? Yes, ma'am. And you saw the individuals from the vehicle, correct? Yes, and I'm not 100% sure that those were the individuals that fired the shots or not, but because I didn't see guns on them, but like right after the shots they sped and like squealed their tires and stopped in the middle of the parking lot, and two gentlemen got out of their vehicles. I couldn't tell you much other than the fact that they were both black males and slightly longer hair, and one was wearing a camo shirt, but we were just concerned with getting in the car and getting my nephew in the car. Okay. All right. We do have something going on in the area. We'll have officers meet you out there. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Can you repeat that? Yes, ma'am. I was just letting you know if the officers need you that can come around there. I put all that in the call. Okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Ms. LeBlanc, was that your 911 call or your portion of it?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Your Honor, that's all I have.
Mr. Stroller?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Blanco.
Doing all right?
I can imagine it was a terrifying evening.
Yes, sir.
Ever been involved in anything like that?
No, sir.
Anybody ever been around gunshots fired and cars squealing tires in your direction?
No, sir.
And you were there with your brother?
Yes, sir.
Right. And you were still nervous, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were almost in a state of panic or stress, is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, shook you up pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that when you heard the tire squealing around the corner, you actually started going towards your car and your brother started going in another direction?
When the tires started squealing, I was already at my car.
Right, and your brother was actually walking away from the car, correct?
Yes.
It was kind of a nerve-wracking experience, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
And when they stopped, you had no idea what they were going to do, did you?
Correct.
And matter of fact, we just heard your 911 call, and you really couldn't even give that great of a description, and that's probably because of how you felt inside. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. And matter of fact, isn't it true you even said you don't even recall at one point getting on the phone with 911?
Correct.
All right. So even now hearing it months and months ago, you didn't even remember getting on the phone. You were that shaken up. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. And matter of fact, do you recall that it wasn't until December 4th that you actually spoke with law enforcement?
I don't remember the exact date.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at a report?
Sure.
Your Honor, if I can approach, and
Yes.
for the record, I'm going to show opposing counsel, Judge. It's supplemental 5. I know it's 22 of 25. I know there's 31, but this is the original one I was given in discovery. Okay. Judge, if I can approach.
Yes, sir.
Ms. LeBon, I'm just going to show you a police report. Don't read from it. It's not an evidence. I just want to see if it refreshes your recollection. And I've got it highlighted, and it's got a date with some information with your name.
Yes, it says December 4th.
Don't read from it yet, sorry. By looking at that, does that refresh your recollection?
Yes,
Okay, does that seem accurate and fair?
I would say so, yes.
Okay, I'm just going to show you a second page, and for the record for opposing counsel, it's 23 of 25. It looks like on another date, you gave a sworn statement. Would that refresh your recollection of the date?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Do you recall now on December 4th, meeting with detectives?
Yes,
Okay, that was almost 2 weeks after November 23rd, correct?
yes,
Okay, and then 2 days later, you actually gave a sworn statement to the state attorney, Ms. Wolfson, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay, now on the 911 call, you actually give the dispatcher your home address, correct?
Correct,
They actually indicate to you, if we need you, we'll send officers over to talk to you, correct?
correct.
And nobody contacted you for 2 weeks, isn't that true?
I didn't speak to anyone. I spoke to the detective on the phone when I got his card in my door to meet with me, but I didn't speak about what I had seen until December 4th.
Right, and how soon after you got the card did you meet with him on December 4th?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Did you meet with him the day you got his card? You called him that day, correct?
No, sir.
Did you talk to him on the phone?
I did.
Okay, and was that December 4th?
I don't remember what date I spoke with him on the phone,
Okay, but,
but I believe I met with him a couple of days after I called him.
okay. But again, the first time you have is December 4th. Is that accurate? Where you
Yes.
actually met with them to talk to them?
Yes.
Okay. And again, that night, no officers came to your house?
No, sir.
The next day, nobody came to your house?
No, sir.
A couple days after that, nobody came to your house to talk to you about this?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Guy asked you some questions about, did you see this, did you see that? Pretty busy parking lot, right? When you arrived at the loop, you were all the way in the very last row, farthest away, bless you.
Correct.
Okay, and that was because there were so many cars there already for people in the businesses, dinner, things like that, correct?
I would assume so.
All right. Otherwise, you probably would have parked in the first row where your roommate found a spot.
Correct.
Okay. And again, when you left, there were still cars in the parking lot. You didn't close the loop down or hang out and drink or anything like that. That's correct.
There were still cars in the parking lot, yes.
Right. And there was even still cars in the row you were in, correct?
Probably. I don't recall.
Okay. You don't have a clear memory of that?
No, sir.
All right. And again, it was a very stressful time, correct?
Correct.
So when they come out and you see the driver get out, he actually gets out of his door, is that correct?
Correct.
He then goes to the back door and opens it, true?
Yes.
You then see the driver of the red SUV reach into that car, isn't that true?
He was leaning in, yes.
And you can't see him at this point, isn't that true?
Correct. I can just see his lower half.
Right, you can't see what he's doing in the car, right?
No, sir.
You can't see where his hands are, what he's saying, anything like that, right?
No, sir.
And he's the one on the phone, correct?
Correct.
All right, and you even said that if he was screaming or yelling, you were close enough, you would have heard him. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't hear him talking on the phone, did you?
I couldn't hear what he was saying, no.
He didn't seem in shock or panicked or screaming or yelling. Is that fair?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, but it is fair to say that.
It's fair, yes.
Okay, thank you. Now the passenger gets out, is that true?
Correct.
Now the passenger is on the other side of the Durango. The Durango's actually looking at you and you're on a diagonal from it, correct?
Correct.
There's other cars in the parking lot? Is that true?
Correct.
The driver's door is open? Is that true?
Correct.
The back passenger behind the driver is open, is that true? I mean, you have two doors open now, the driver and then the passenger behind.
Oh, correct, yes.
Okay, and he's now, you can't see what he's doing in the truck, true?
No, sir.
Okay, and now, on the other side, the passenger gets out, the passenger, he leaves his door open, doesn't he?
I believe so.
And then he opens up what you think is the back door, isn't that true?
The passenger, I couldn't see what he was doing after he got out of the car.
All right, so you actually lose the entire sight of the passenger, right front passenger of that vehicle, is that true?
Correct.
And you said all this happens in about a minute.
About, yes.
All right, so when Mr. Guy asked you, You didn't see anything thrown from the vehicle. There was a vantage point you couldn't even see. Isn't that true?
Correct. I couldn't see the passenger.
Right. You can't see what the driver's doing inside the car.
Correct.
Right. And you do know the passenger got out. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Because you actually watched them both get in after about a minute.
Yes, sir.
And at one point, you had to get in the car and start it. Is that true?
Correct.
So your eyes are completely diverted away from the Durango.
Correct.
All right, I mean, obviously, and then when you back out and put the car in reverse, you're looking down at your vehicle. Is that true?
I mean, I could still see them. We were backing out at the same time.
No, I understand that. But when you start the car and put it in reverse, you have to look down and take your eyes off of them to do that. Is that fair?
Correct.
All right, and then when you back out, obviously you don't want to run somebody over. You're looking behind you, correct?
Correct.
Right, you just didn't back straight out looking at the Durango.
Correct.
Right. And then as you back out, the red SUV is backing out, correct?
Correct.
And then you drive forward.
Correct.
Now, as you drive forward, are you now still looking in the rearview mirror as you're driving straight through a parking lot?
Yes.
All right, so you're not even focused on what's in front of you.
I mean, I could see that there were no cars in front of me. No one was backing out, but I could see that the red SUV had backed into the gate gas station.
No, and I understand that. But my question is, you didn't watch the SUV the entire time it backed out. You had other things that you needed to do to safely leave that scene.
Correct.
And is it safe to say your number one priority was self-preservation, making sure you're safe? Yes?
Yes.
Making sure your brother's safe,
Yes.
and making sure your nephew's safe.
Yes.
That's your priority.
Yes.
Okay. And in that aspect, you don't know what happened outside of your presence, right?
No, sir.
And you have no idea what happened on the other side of that vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
And you have no idea what happened back at the gate station, do you?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with that area?
Yes, I lived there.
Right. There's bushes back there behind the gate. Have you been there? There's like a little bread company right next to the gate.
Yes.
You ever go over there?
I've been there once.
All right. Did you ever see dumpsters and trees and bushes back there?
There are, yes.
All right. As a matter of fact, there's a road that goes from the plaza behind the gate gas station to go to Bay Meadows. True?
But behind the plaza or behind the gas station?
From the plaza behind the gate gas station. So you don't have to go through the gas station.
I'm not sure.
Okay. But that would be on the picture if it is. You're not sure if it's there?
Correct.
Okay. But you know there's obviously dumpsters and things like that back there from going there.
Correct.
Okay. But again, you have no idea. You're not here to testify to this jury what happened other than what you had the ability to see, correct?
Correct.
And matter of fact, the officers kind of asked you the same questions Mr. Guy did, correct?
Correct.
You also gave a sworn statement 2 days later on December 6th. Is that true?
Correct.
And you actually gave it with Miss Wolfson, who's here today,
Correct.
and 2 homicide detectives?
Correct.
And now you reviewed your testimony with them before they recorded your statement. Isn't that true?
Correct.
Did they let you listen to the 911 call?
I don't believe I listened to the 911 call.
Okay, but you do recall going over your version of what you saw prior to the taping or the
Correct.
recording?
They asked me the same questions, essentially.
Okay, and that was before they hit the recorder to record you and swear you in. Is that true?
Correct.
And you kind of took an oath to tell the truth like you did today?
Correct.
And you took an oath like you did to do in the deposition?
Correct.
Okay. Would you say the 911 call is a fair and accurate representation of what was going on that night?
Yes, sir.
Did you lie at all on the 911 tape?
No, sir.
Did you try to create any story or anything that didn't happen?
No, sir.
Were you trying to be a hero or anything like that, ma'am?
No, sir.
Was your brother doing anything like that?
No, sir.
You were just reporting what you saw.
Correct.
And that 911 tape would be the best evidence of what you saw and what happened that night?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you actually saw this on TV, this case, after it happened. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
You actually, it was highly televised. I mean, we can agree to that?
Definitely.
I mean, social media, TV media, newspapers, and you were part of that. You got to see that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was before you even talked to the police on December 4th. Is that accurate?
I believe I had seen on the news before
Yes.
I spoke to the detectives. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And before you gave your sworn statement?
Correct.
Okay. And also, you had talked to your brother about what you guys had seen that night, too, as well?
Correct.
And did you talk about what you had seen on TV and the news and things like that?
I don't recall exactly what we discussed other than what we had seen.
Okay, but you guys did talk about that evening?
Correct.
And it's possible you did talk about the media coverage, you just don't recall?
Correct.
Okay. And at one point, you had to try to find your keys to give to your brother to unlock the door, correct?
Correct.
I think the car that you had at the time, you didn't have like a remote control to unlock it. You had to physically put the key in and unlock it?
Correct.
All right, and you didn't have electric locks, you kind of had to reach over and open the other side?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, my brother did that.
I'm sorry?
My brother put my nephew in the car, so he unlocked it
Okay.
manually.
Did he unlock your side and let you in, or did he unlock his side and get his
Well,
son in?
my nephew's car seat was on the driver's side of the vehicle, so he had to go around to the driver's side and unlock that door, and then unlock the back door through the front door, and then put my nephew in.
And by doing so, your brother would have to have his back turned to the Durango because of the way you were parked
Correct.
and where the Durango was?
Correct.
Okay. And where were you standing when all this was going on?
I was still behind, or not behind. I was on the passenger side of the car still.
Yeah, you were behind your car for protection?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Guy?
Ms. LeBlanc, when the driver leaned into the car and he came back out, did you see anything in his hands?
No, sir.
you see
The only
anything
thing I saw in his hand was a cell phone.
Did you see anything sticking out of his pockets?
No, sir.
Anything on him at all other than the cell phone?
No, sir.
You were asked about what was going on in the driver's mind when he was looking into the car.
Judge, I don't believe I asked that question, Your Honor.
Judge, I believe the question was, do you know what was going through his mind when he was looking through in the back of the car?
I don't recall that, but I guess we can check and see if you'd like.
Please.
Let me, while she's looking, let me see over here at the sidebar so I can see what we're trying to cover. And this doesn't need to be on the record, I don't think. Well, yeah, go ahead, Melanie. We took a little shorter break before when we were doing this. I'm gonna make a little short break now because this should only take another minute or two. And so I'll give you a short break. When you come back in, we got one more witness for the day, and then we'll be finished. So again, don't discuss the case among yourselves or let anybody else discuss the case in your presence. See you back in a couple of minutes. And everybody else out there, you can just hang tight if you'd like.